Hello, welcome to Furiously Knit podcast episode 5. My name is Wendy and I am a knitter in Chicago. I'm also an early childhood teacher and I live with my twin 11-year-old daughters and our 3 cats. I was not planning on filming a podcast today. We have kind of a busy day. Today is Sunday, December 3rd. But my daughters have, rightfully so, been kind of harassing me to film because I've been getting some knitting accomplished, and I decided to heed their advice and squeeze in a podcast. I do have to actually get going and get some errands accomplished today, so this probably won't be a very long episode, but I wanted to catch you up. We're going into the holiday season. I wanted to get a podcast filmed before I launch into my gift knitting. I do have some gift knitting plans that I haven't really started yet, but I think it's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. I've got my End Patriarchy mug today. This is my 3rd cup of coffee this morning, so that might give you an idea of what kind of morning we're having. So, okay, we're just gonna get into it. I'm wearing today my Clove sweater. This was my Clove version 2. And I knit this with a strand of Filcolana Arwetta in marzipan, and I held it with a strand of sock yarn from Grenouille Yarn Company. Grenouille is one of my favorite hand dyers, and this colorway is Wax and Wane. So both of the yarns have this sort of cream base, and then the Wax and Wane has some really beautiful speckles, mostly blue, reds, pinks, some oranges and browns. We've been joined by a menace. That's Nova. Come here, friend. This is Nova. Nova was one of our foster fails. I fostered Nova and his mama and his siblings over the summer. We adopted Nova and his sister Jupiter. He is a wild man. I'm waiting for him to grow out of this chaotic kitten energy. It hasn't happened yet. Hi, are you here to destroy everything? Hi. Anyway, Clove sweater number 2. I did knit a previous Clove using a DK weight yarn, and I really like the weight of these 2 yarns held together. I feel like there's, they're both superwash sock yarns, so there's a lot of weight to this sweater and a lot of drape. Let's see if I can give you more of a look at the whole thing. We do have some creases from the drawer, but we have an area of super speckles here. But I love the drape of this sweater. I love the drop shoulder. I really feel like on my frame, a drop shoulder is more flattering than a raglan. So I love this sweater. I wear it a lot. I can definitely see myself knitting a 3rd Clove if I happen to find the perfect yarn combination. I love the pattern. I love the... Hi. I love the pattern. I love the fit. I do love my kitten, but he's driving me a little bit up the wall. So we'll see how this goes. Clove sweater number 2, definitely a favorite. I absolutely would knit a 3rd clove. And if you haven't taken a look at the pattern, I highly recommend it. I like the twisted rib, and I like the cropped length. I like the boxiness. I feel like it's just really flattering. Also, sorry, I'm looking over here because I'm using my back-facing camera, and I have a mirror set up, so I apologize if I'm not making eye contact with you. Okay, so I do have finished objects. I have a couple smallish finished objects to show you. I finished sock number 2, knit in Retrosaria Mondim. I don't have the colorway. I don't remember the colorway. So this was sock number 1. No. This was sock number 1. So you can see the self-stripiness that happened. I didn't know how this yarn was going to knit up, looking at it in the skein. But sock number 1 knit up in this basically self-striping pattern. This is just a vanilla sock by the Crazy Sock Lady. I think almost all of the socks I've ever knit are Crazy Sock Lady's vanilla sock pattern, and I knit mine up on 9-inch circulars. No, all of those were lies. All of that was a lie. This is not the Vanilla Sock Lady's pattern. This is Ailbíona McLochlainn's integrated heel sock pattern. This is maybe the only pattern I've knit that was not a Vanilla Sock Lady, Crazy Sock Lady vanilla sock. So Ailbíona McLochlainn has an integrated heel sock pattern. So you don't knit a heel flap and gusset. You just increase and then decrease to create the heel. I apologize, friends. I have mashed potato brains lately. I wanted to try the integrated heel pattern because it's kind of annoying to be knitting along on your 9-inch circulars and then have to stop. And I always transfer mine to DPNs to do the heel flap and gusset, and then back to the 9-inch circulars to do the foot. And so I came across this pattern and I wanted to try it to see if it just felt like less of an interruption in the knitting process, which it definitely did. This is sock number 2. So you can kind of see the different, there's a lot more color pooling in the foot of this sock, which is totally not a problem. This is not a big deal. So knitting the integrated heel was interesting. Hey, Az. The level of chaos that this kitten creates is just... Hi, come over here. Come on. Are you lonely? So the integrated heel was interesting. I did enjoy being able to keep my sock on the 9-inch circulars as I worked it. I don't know that this heel is the best fit for my foot, though. I feel like it's a little bit too narrow for my heel, and I have narrow feet. So I actually think that these socks are going to go to one of my daughters. which is great because they need warm wool socks for the winter too. And the designer does include instructions in the pattern for modifying that heel. So like if you need a deeper heel or if you need a wider heel, instructions for that are included, which I think is amazing. And I may try it again and use some of those modifications to create a heel that works a little bit better for my foot. But it was a fun pattern, very straightforward. I did enjoy this a lot. I enjoyed the yarn a lot. I love this Mondim. It doesn't have any nylon, so we shall see how it wears, especially in winter boots. I feel like winter boots might be kind of hard on this yarn, but we'll see. I don't have it here with me right now, but I did start knitting another sock out of Mondim in a different colorway, just because I want a pair for myself out of this yarn. I love how it feels. It's non-superwash, no nylon, Portuguese wool. You can feel, I think it's the lanolin that you can feel. I just love it. It feels moisturizing. So yes, love the yarn. I liked this pattern. I want to try again and see if I can perfect it. So finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 is also a sock. So last summer I knit this one, and I am a terrible podcaster. I do not know I don't know what yarn this is. It's a self-striping sock yarn. I cannot find the ball band. I cannot find the email confirmation of when I ordered this yarn. But isn't it amazing? And I'm so sad because I saw this yarn somewhere on the internet. I think it was an Instagram post. Fell in love with it, was obsessed, tracked it down, ordered it. It was like the last ball left at some tiny yarn store that happened to do online ordering. And I cannot find the email confirmation, and I cannot find the ball band. So I am so sorry. It's a sock yarn with nylon. It's probably a 75-25 merino wool nylon blend. I did a contrasting heel and toe, and this is the Crazy Sock Ladies vanilla sock pattern. The contrast color is Knit Picks Muse sock yarn. And I am terrible about keeping track of my ball bands, so I cannot tell you that color either. But if you go on Knit Picks website and you look at the sock yarn, you'll probably be able to tell which colorway this is. So I knit this one up last summer, and then I had a severe case of second sock syndrome, and I did not even cast on the second one until maybe a month ago. And then I just like whizzed through it. I finished this sock in a weekend. I think it was less than 48 hours, which for me is unheard of. But the self-striping yarn is so potato chippy and so addicting. I think I was also sick that weekend, and I think my daughters were with their dad, so I stayed in bed and I knit and I knit and I knit and I whipped this up, and I'm so happy with them. I think they're so fun. I did somehow mess up a row on this heel. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's a row of purl bumps that should not be there. I didn't do any yarn management, so you know, if I had just paid a little bit of attention and put a little bit more effort into my work, I could have made them more symmetrically striped, but I just don't care that much. And I think they're beautiful, and I think they are really fun, really cozy boot socks. And I'm so happy. And I think these are a really good example of the way that now that I'm knitting more, I'm playing with colors in a way that I never did before. I mean, I'm the girl who wears all black and all gray and only neutrals, but these just bring me so much joy. I'm so happy I did it. I'm so excited to get more stripey, self-striping sock yarn. My daughters also really love these, and they're like, oh, do you have any more of that yarn left? So part of my holiday knitting plan is stripey socks for the girls. I mean, they're so fun, so fun. Okay, it was really satisfying to get those second socks finished and have a complete pair finally. And finished object number 3 is not entirely finished because I haven't woven in the ends and I haven't blocked it yet, but this is the Essential Beanie by Andrea Gaughan. I knit, so the pattern gives you options for several different weights and gauges. I knit the DK weight. And I knit this up in 1 strand of Cascade 220 fingering. So a strand of the Cascade 220 fingering in just like an off-white color. And I held it with a strand of Grenouille Yarn's Suri alpaca in the colorway Oakmoss, which you may have seen before on my channel because I am obsessed with it. I knit my first Ghost Whisper top up in this Oakmoss colorway, and it's amazing. So I held those two together and I got the DK weight gauge and I knit this up. It's too short for me. I felt like I did measure and then measure again and measure again before starting the decreases up at the top. But it is a little bit too short on me. And I have a small head, so I thought maybe it wouldn't be an issue, but let's just see. I think you can ignore my unwoven ends for just a moment. I wanted to give you an idea of how it fits. Okay, let's see. It's a little bit too short for me. I think that I prefer a longer brim. It is super warm and cozy though. That Suri alpaca is amazing. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this for myself or if I'm going to pass it down to one of the girls. Although, to be honest, their heads are probably the same size as mine. But the colorway is gorgeous. I do love how these look together. But yeah, when it's, you know, Chicago wintertime and the wind is blowing and it's 0 degrees, I think I do prefer a hat that I can pull down more. Although I haven't blocked this yet, so maybe after blocking it might fit me a little better. It is also a little bulky for my preferences, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Does it make me look like a mushroom? It is fun. It is fun to finish a hat. I haven't finished a hat in a really long time. And I did, again, love this pattern. Very straightforward, very beginner friendly. Very instantly gratifying. I think it would be an amazing gift knit if you're still looking for ideas. And now we have kidsilk mohair everywhere. So yes, the Essential Beanie by Andrea Gaughan, amazing pattern. I am going to finish this and block it today, and we shall see. We shall see if it happens. Overall, I'm happy with it. We'll just see if it grows a little bit in length. Okay, so those are my 3 finished objects, and I have 2 works in progress that I'm really excited about. I'm going to show you my Ghost Whisperer number 3. So I've knit 2 Ghost Whisperers, short sleeve version, just as the pattern is written, and I decided that I wanted to knit a winter version of the Ghost Whisperer with long sleeves. So here she is. I hope the colors are coming through on camera because this yarn, this is the kidsilk mohair from Fiber for the People in the colorway Lamplighter, and it's blue and gray and gold and brown and like mossy green. It's incredible, kind of a purpley tone in some spots. It's so moody and so gorgeous and so soft. I think I talked about this last time, but it doesn't feel like typical kidsilk mohair to me. It feels more like suri, baby suri alpaca. I'm knitting this on the recommended needles, which I believe is a US 10.5. And I did a ribbed cuff at the sleeves, but I'm not happy with how this cuff turned out. It's too big. Let's see if I can show you. Yep. I feel like I'm going to rip this out and go back and knit it. I'm going to decrease more stitches and then knit the cuff because it is, I wanted it to be a little more fitted to my wrist than it is. But because the sleeves are so voluminous, it's going to have sort of a balloon sleeve effect. But I need to tighten up this cuff in order to really get the full balloon sleeve effect. So I think I'm going to wait until after I knit the second sleeve to go back and adjust that cuff. But I'm so excited for this to be done. I don't think I'm going to add the I-cord finishing on the neckline. I did add it to my Ghost Whisperer number 1. I did not do it on Ghost Whisperer number 2. And I think that this looks neat and clean enough that I don't need to go back and add that I-cord finish. So, so we're gonna pick up sleeve stitches and we're gonna do the second sleeve. It goes pretty fast. Big needles, big open gauge. And I'm excited to have this as sort of, it feels like kind of a dressier option for winter. So, I'm so excited. I'm such a nerd for mohairs and suri alpacas. I can't get enough. This was the first time I have ever ordered yarn from Fiber from the People, and I definitely plan on ordering more of the kidsilk mohair base in the future because it's so soft. The colors are so beautiful. And the way that it's knitting up, there's no pooling, there's no striping. I think I have, let's see, do I have it? I do. This is what it looks like caked up. It's incredible. Very much in love with this one. Big fan of the Ghost Whisperer pattern by Park Williams of Park and Knit. Okay, now my next work in progress is my Weekender Crew by Andrea Mowry. I had not started this the last time I filmed, but I was planning to, and I had ordered, this is the Cascade Yarns Aegean Tweed base. The colorway is olive. So it is a really beautiful tweedy yarn. But as I spoke about this on the last podcast, when I got the yarn, I did not initially like the yarn very much. It's 100% wool, and the way that it's spun, it doesn't feel the same as my other Cascade bases that I've used in the past. And I love Cascade yarns. I use Cascade 220 a lot. And this doesn't feel the same. This feels, it feels linty. It's not scratchy, but it's also not soft. It kind of feels like what I imagine recycled yarn would feel like. And so I talked on the last podcast about how I was not crazy about this yarn. And this is one of the recommended yarns for the pattern. The recommended substitution yarns for the pattern. I did not love it, but I decided to knit a swatch and block it and just see. So this is my swatch. I did have to go down from a US 6, which is what the pattern calls for, to a US 5. But I knit this up and I blocked it. And it's softened up a little bit, but it has a really nice drape. And initially when I got the yarn, I was like, this feels kind of like it's not going to have good drape. It feels like maybe it's going to be a little stiff. But that was not the case. And I liked the swatch enough that I decided to go ahead and cast on. So the Weekender Crew is one of Andrea's newer patterns. She has the original Weekender, which has a boat neck. And I can't wear boat necks. So when she released this pattern, I jumped on it because I've always liked the pattern. It was just the neckline. I knew the neckline wasn't gonna work for me. So she's big. She's a big one. I don't know if I can get this all on the frame. I'm almost done with the body. So the finished sweater has reverse stockinette on the outside. So you knit this inside out so that you're knitting stockinette basically. And then you turn it inside out when you go to, after you finish the body. So I am almost to that point. I'm almost to the point of turning it inside out, seaming up the shoulders, adding the neckline and the sleeves. And it has a I want you to see the detail. I'm gonna flip it inside out very carefully. It's got so many needles and stitch holders attached to it. Okay. Success? Success. So this is what it'll actually look like. It's got this nice little seam detailing up the front and the back. And then the sleeves are knit in stockinette, I believe. I wanted this to be an oversized, comfy option for just like wearing casually around the house or wearing to work. And I think it's going to be perfect for that. It's going to definitely be oversized. This might be the largest knit I've done so far. So it'll have, 10 or 11 inches of positive ease on me, probably, most likely. And the longer I work with this yarn, the more I like it. And I'm very excited to finish this and block the final product and just see how much it softens up. I think the tweed texture is gorgeous. And I am very excited about this. This feels like it's a very big project for me, but I feel like I was so excited about it that I put so much time into it that it's knitting up pretty quickly. I think the sleeves are just gonna fly by. I did mess up the hem. It's supposed to have a longer hem in the back and I did not knit it long enough. I was just not paying attention, to be totally honest. Not paying attention to what I was doing. So, Weekender Crew by Andrea Mowry. This is my first Andrea Mowry pattern. And it's funny, I'm not sure why it's taken me so long to knit one for patterns. I have followed and admired her patterns for years. Like, probably since she started designing, I've been following her patterns. And I don't know why. I don't know why I haven't knit one until now, but I am enjoying it very much. And I'm excited to do more of her patterns in the future. Okay, I think I need to stop here, but I hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you for hanging out with me. I will put information in the box below. I hope your Advent seasons are off to a wonderful beginning, and I will see you soon.